It's a busy weekday morning. We just finished our workout. I had my 32 ounces of lemon honey water already, and now we're moving on to the celery juice. And while I'm making this, my bee is over there on the side getting the dogs fed, which is priority number one for those guys. But typical morning for us, it is just craziness. Everybody's going all over the place. We are working in between all of our tasks, and you know, that's life. Next in our lineup is the heavy metal detox smoothie, which we have every single morning about 30 minutes or so after our celery juice. So this one is tasty. It's got all the things. If you want to see me make it from scratch, you can see that in the last video that I posted. But it is good. And listen, if you need things to move through your body, this is the ticket. So it is lunchtime now, and instead of having another smoothie, we are ready to have some actual food. So fortunately for us, we have food in the refrigerator. I have some of the steamed potatoes that I like to keep on hand. I made some cheese sauce that we have leftovers of, and I am super excited to just warm this stuff up and throw it all together because oh my gosh, it makes life so much easier. And I really, in the middle of the day, do not have time to cook a meal from scratch. That is just crazy talk. So I took some of the steamed potatoes out of the fridge. I cut them up into these little discs or rounds or whatever you want to call them, and I threw them in the air fryer, put a little bit of salt on top of them, and I cooked them for I think about 20 minutes or so, and I just flipped them halfway through. So I am getting my salad ingredients prepped, and I love just a super easy basic salad because I am far more inclined to eat salad when it is easy. I do not have the time or the desire to cut up a bunch of things and have like 10 ingredients in my salad. I've just never been that girl. But you know, no hate to anyone who loves all kinds of variety. Every now and then I like it, I do, I swear. But for like the everyday, I just need easy, I need basic, I need grab and go because our days are just super crazy. So on the salad greens that I have prepped, I'm throwing some microgreens on there just to add a little more nutritional body to this salad. I'm going to top it with the tomatoes. I'm going to plate up those yummy crispy potatoes, top them with some of that delicious, super warm and ooey gooey cheese sauce that is faux cheese. There's no actual dairy in there. So it is friendly for all of my friends who are not tolerant to dairy. And then I'm moving on to put the lovely cashew cream sauce on top of salad. And this is going to be lunch, and I'm so excited. So I do have a variation of this super often, but it's because it's so freaking easy and it's super tasty. So this is my plate. I am grabbing the other plate and taking it to my bee because he is in the office right now in a meeting. So I'm gonna have mine out here in the dining room because I myself have a meeting. So we will have our meetings in our own separate spaces, and that will be that. But this is freaking delicious. So mid-afternoon, and we're gonna have ourselves a smoothie. So I have some burdock root tea, and I am going to use that as my liquid here. So I'm straining it, and burdock root, if you've never seen it, it looks like these little pebbles. I don't know what the actual like plant looks like, but this is what I get when I order it. So of course, you know, I've got to throw my bananas in there and give the dogs a little piece for each of them because they love bananas so much. Really, they're like fruitarians, they love fruit. So then I'm going in with my strawberries, some dates, and this combo is really, really good. The burdock root is an acquired taste, like for sure, but that's just for extra health benefits. You definitely don't have to do that. But with orange juice or just water or coconut water, I've never tried it with coconut water, but I bet it is uber freaking delicious. So let's go blend this baby up, serve it up because I am ready for some hydration and a tasty little mid-afternoon snack. now I am getting dinner prepped and ready to go. So I am cutting up my onion here, and you know I am not an enormous fan of, actually it's not even enormous, like I am not a fan at all of eating onions. So when I am cooking with them, if I know they're going to stay in the dish, I like to cut them up like super teeny tiny, because that is just the life I'm living. So next up, I have a giant garlic clove, and this is elephant garlic, I believe is what it's called. So they're always like super enormous, but I love them. They're super tasty, very flavorful. So I can get away with taking one and cutting it into pieces, and this large clove ends up being like 4 smaller cloves. So all good, all good. Next up, I am turning my Instant Pot to the saute function. I have my onions in here. I have some oregano, my garlic, some tomato paste. These are some pinto beans that I soaked overnight, and I am making a huge batch of them because I want to have leftovers, because you know, leftovers is life. So I'm getting all of that stirred in. Next, I am throwing in some homemade vegetable stock, and I am so excited. It's the first time I've made vegetable stock, and I made a ton of it, and it is just so nice to have on hand to throw into things like this when I'm cooking beans, when I'm cooking rice, whatever the heck it is. I'm topping this off with some water, so there's like 1/2 inch to 1 inch of water that sits above where the beans sit to make sure that they cook well. These are some sofrito cubes that were frozen. So you know I like to take my leftover sofrito and throw it in the freezer because it comes in handy at times like this. I am tossing in a little bit of salt, giving that baby a stir, and then she is going to cook, and oh my God, it's on. And just kidding, I forgot to mention the cilantro. So I did take a whole bunch, 1 entire bunch of cilantro. I put it at the top of the beans, and I lightly press it in, and this is going to cook in there with the beans just to give it some extra flavor. And oh my gosh, the flavor is mwah, chef's kiss. The next step for dinner is these pork chops that I marinated yesterday. They have all kinds of seasonings in there. There's salt and garlic powder and some smoked paprika and all the things. So I have the air fryer that has been warming up. I'm throwing all of my pork chops in there, and I'm going to cook these guys, air fry them rather, at 375 for 20 minutes. And I'm going to do 10-minute increments. So after 10 minutes, I will flip them, cook them for another 10 minutes. And oh my goodness, so good, so good. And this is the finished product. So it is just a bed of greens with my pork chops, some tomatoes, some of that cashew cream sauce that has cilantro and lime in it, and then jalapeno, and it is, oh my God, so delicious. And then a little side of the pinto beans that I just cooked. And seriously, it looks so basic, but it is packed full of flavor, and it is giving all the things. It seriously was so delicious. I loved the combo and having the beans on the side, and you can throw the beans on the salad if you want to. I mean, you know, do you, baby, do you, whatever makes you happy. And my favorite part, the leftovers. So we definitely have a lot of pork chops left over that we can have in salads or whatever, and a bunch of beans. So one of these containers will go in the refrigerator, the rest will go in the freezer, and I can take these out of the freezer whenever I want to use one of these containers of beans in whatever dish, rice and beans or whatever.